Hi everyone, welcome back. Well, there's lots of different types of hay that you can get. This hay behind me that I usually make is oaten hay. I've also done meadow hay, which is where you just cut whatever has come up in your pasture paddocks. So there's usually ryegrass and various clovers and other grasses. Sometimes there's also lucern and things, depending on what pasture species you've put in. And there's wheaten hay. There's a whole bundle of different varieties of hay. Today we're going to go over to Dave's place and have a look at how he bales up lucern hay to make sure he gets the best quality for his horses and other livestock.
So it's the 2nd of November and it's 7:30 in the morning. So I've just come up here to rake the hay. I want to get 3 of these rows into one. There's plenty of colour still, and I just really want to preserve that. Today the weather's going to get quite warm and windy, and we'll see a lot of bleaching and drying, so I'm preserving leaf and colour by just getting it up to 3 into 1, and just to really make the best hay possible. So this hay is going to go for horses. My neighbour and his partner have got horses, and we've still got 2 horses. So we're just going to put it into little squares and use it for horses. But as you can see, we're on very, very sandy soil, and as you can see here in the track, and we really try not to get sand in the hay because it causes a lot of health problems with colic, and the horses really do suffer from that. So it's a bit of a balancing trick. So to avoid the sand, or flicking the sand up into the hay, I'm using a roller bar rake, just like Jeffrey's, except mine's a bit older. And because this doesn't actually have to touch the soil or touch the ground, it just flicks it over. You just don't seem to get the sand in. We were having a lot of trouble with Vicon wheel rakes, and the sand that would just flick into the road because the wheel actually has to touch the ground to drive the rake and turn the wheel. And we were finding that was just flicking so much sand into the hay, especially if you're raking just a little bit in dewy conditions. So this morning I'm towing the hay rake with my Leyland 270. The 270, 2 indicates 2-wheel drive, 70 is 70 horsepower. I've got 2 Leylands, and one's got a front end loader on it. That's a 272, and I've just found them to be exceptional tractors for the work I've done. I know a lot of people don't like them, and they weren't that popular in the day, but I get on extremely well with them. They're easy to fix, and I really have had terrific service out of them and not big problems whatsoever with them. It seems to be the trouble ones are the 6-cylinder ones, but I found these 2 Leylands extremely good for my size operation, and extremely good on fuel. So we're all finished with the raking for now. And I'm hoping we won't have to touch it again, just depending on weather conditions. If we don't get any rain over the next few days, I'm just hoping not to have to touch it again and just bale it. Another reason I like to go early with the raking is it just gets off the paddock and allows the lucern to recover more quickly from less disturbance. It also you shift those rows, and the sunlight can get to the lucern plants, and it recovers and starts growing again. This is the way I just like to do it. It's worked for me quite well where we are, but everybody's got their own way of doing hay. Well, now it's Saturday the 10th, and we've started baling this hay, and it's going pretty well, really. I would have liked to have had it done perhaps 2 days ago, but we've had 3.5 mils of rain, which isn't much, but just enough to slow us down. And in actual fact, although I didn't want to, I've actually flipped this over just to aid the drying a little bit. But really, when we just take a look in the rows, there's still heaps of colour, heaps of leaf, and the 3.5 mils is really of no consequence. Quite often I'd be baling lucern at night just to have a bit of atmosphere in the air, a bit of moisture in the air, just to toughen up the leaf. But this morning we've had a bit of a dew, and so today it's just really ideal conditions. The leaf's all holding together, and we're making some really nice hay with plenty of colour, and it'll be very handy to have it. So with lucern, you can see how already, since we mowed it, it started to recover, and this will provide some terrific feed for lambs, or if we were to jag a rain in the next week or two, we might even be able to get another cut. But really the conditions have got to be just right to be able to do that without irrigation. But it's still terrific stock feed to have going into the summer. The baler I'm using is a New Holland 275. This is a predecessor to the one Jeffrey's got at Brookdale, and it's not nearly as fast, and when you push it hard it doesn't make a very good bale, but if you just go quietly it just does a terrific job. This has been extremely trouble-free, this baler, despite the way it looks and the age of it. With minimum maintenance, it really has performed well for me. Also just pulling it with the Leyland, which I showed you on the raking video. It's a pretty good combination, and with this combination I've done thousands and thousands of bales. So when I'm baling lucern, I just like to have a look at how the hay is going into the bale and what it looks like. So you look on the end of the bale and you can see the leaf. A bit of gum leaf there, so you can see the leaf and the colour, and you can just know that it's really holding together well and making some really nice hay. There's just a little bit of chaff, you always get a little bit. Just having a look on the sheet, bit of an indicator, just a little bit there. But I'm really happy with the hay, with how this hay is going today, just baling up really nicely. Of course, the job's not finished yet. We've got to cart these bales in, get them under cover. At this stage, this is very valuable stock feed, and it's really just got to be looked after from now on. So in the next day or two, we'll be out with the truck and loading it onto the truck and stacking it in the shed. So just a little trick I've picked up years ago is to bring a bundle of hay home and put it on the lawn, and that way you can just keep an eye on it without having to drive out to the paddock to check it, to see how it's going, whether it needs raking again or baling. It's not 100% accurate, but boy, it saves a lot of time just travelling out and then having to come home when you realise it's not ready for baling or raking. So just the bundles on the lawn, just really easy to keep an eye on. The only trouble I've had with this really has been when our girls used to live home before they grew up and moved away. They had ponies and they'd bring the horses into the yard, and of course the horses would eat the hay sitting on the ground, and that just spoilt my plan altogether.
Anyway, thanks very much to Dave for that great video. I hope you've all enjoyed it, and we both hope to see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.